Sometimes, the cruelest moments in life are not the ones that break our bones, but the ones that shatter our dignity. Imagine a crowded street, a young girl struggling to walk with a crutch, and a boy, someone her age, kicking that crutch away, leaving her to fall to the ground as laughter echoed around her. But what if I told you, that same boy would one day become the very reason she stood tall again? It was a bustling Monday morning. Cars honked, vendors shouted, and schoolchildren rushed to classes. Among them was Ayesha, a 17-year-old girl who walked slower than the rest. Her right leg had never fully healed after an accident 2 years ago. The crutch she leaned on had become a part of her life, though not a part she welcomed. Every step she took reminded her that she was different, weaker, at least in the eyes of others. Ayesha adjusted her bag and tried to keep pace with the students around her. She was used to the stares, the whispers, the pity. But that morning, something else happened. From behind her, a voice sneered, "Move faster, limpy." Before she could react, a sudden kick struck her crutch. It flew out of her grip. Her body hit the pavement hard, her books spilling onto the dirty road. The boy responsible stood over her with a smirk. His name was Danish, one of the notorious troublemakers in school. For him, it was a joke, a quick laugh at someone else's expense. His friends burst into cruel laughter as he walked away, leaving her trembling on the ground, struggling to pull herself up. But Ayesha didn't cry. Not in front of them. She gathered her books slowly, her palms scraped, her pride bleeding more than her body. With quiet determination, she retrieved her crutch and forced herself to stand again. That night, however, was different. Alone in her small room, she let the tears fall. "Why me?" she whispered into the silence. She remembered the girl she used to be, the runner, the dancer, the athlete. Now, just making it through a hallway felt like a battle. And yet, something inside her hardened. One day, she promised herself, "I'll walk without this crutch. And when I do, nobody will ever look down on me again." But little did she know, fate had a strange way of keeping promises, and of turning enemies into something unexpected. Weeks passed. Ayesha continued her routine, limping into class, enduring stares, and holding her head high even when whispers followed her. She had learned to ignore Danish. He was just another storm she had to walk through. But life, as it often does, shifted. One evening, Danish was speeding home on his motorbike. Reckless, careless, just like always. The rain had made the road slick, and in a single flash, his bike skidded out of control. The next thing he knew, he was lying in a hospital bed, his leg in a cast, his freedom stripped away. For the first time, Danish knew what it meant to feel helpless. To depend on others. To be stared at. To struggle just to move from one place to another. The boy who once kicked away a crutch now needed one himself. It was during his rehabilitation sessions at a nearby clinic that fate decided to play its card. Danish was wheeled into the physical therapy room, only to freeze. There she was. Ayesha. Not as a patient, but as a volunteer assistant. She was helping the therapist, guiding patients through their exercises, her crutch resting against the wall nearby. She looked stronger than he remembered, more confident somehow, as though she had made peace with her struggle. Danish's pride burned. Shame washed over him as he remembered what he had done to her. He wanted to disappear. But he couldn't. His legs betrayed him. And Ayesha? She saw him too. Their eyes met. For a moment, the room was filled with unspoken history. She could have turned away. She could have refused to help him. But instead, she walked toward him, steady despite her limp, and said softly, "Come on. You'll need someone to help you through this." Her kindness cut deeper than any insult could. Over the weeks, as Ayesha guided him through painful stretches and exercises, Danish's arrogance began to break. He saw the strength it took for her to keep going every day. He saw how she lifted others with encouragement, even while battling her own limitations. And slowly, something inside him shifted. The boy who once laughed at her began to admire her resilience. Guilt turned into respect. Respect turned into something warmer, something he couldn't quite name yet. One evening, as their session ended, Danish looked at her and whispered, "I'm sorry, for everything. I don't deserve your help." Ayesha smiled faintly, her eyes glistening. "Life has a strange way of teaching us lessons," she said. "You don't need to deserve kindness, you just need to learn from it." That night, Danish realized, he hadn't just found healing for his broken leg. He had found redemption. And for Ayesha, life had indeed kept its promise. She wasn't standing tall because she had lost her crutch. She was standing tall because she had risen above the cruelty, the pain, and even the boy who once tried to bring her down.